Picture this. It's Monday morning in Dallas, Texas. Mike is 34 years old. He wakes up at 6:15 a.m. He works a full-time corporate job. He earns $78,000 a year. He has a college degree. He has a 401k. He has a good credit score. He did everything right. But Mike owes $42,000 in student loans, $18,000 in credit card debt, $310,000 mortgage, $27,000 car loan. That's nearly $400,000 in total debt. Mike is not reckless. He is not lazy. He is not irresponsible. He is average, and that is the problem. According to data from the Federal Reserve, most Americans carry debt for most of their adult lives. Many will never experience true financial freedom before retirement. Why? It's not because Americans don't work hard. It's not because they don't earn money. It's not because they don't care. It's because the system is designed around debt. Let's go back to the beginning. You turn 18. You are told to go to college. You are told it's the only path to success, so you take student loans. You graduate with tens of thousands of dollars owed. Then you need a car. In most American cities, public transportation is limited. Outside places like New York City, a car is not optional, so you finance one. Then you are told renting is wasting money, so you buy a house. You take a 30-year mortgage. Then life happens. Medical bills, car repairs, holidays, groceries during inflation. You use credit cards. None of this feels extreme because everyone around you is doing the same thing. Debt is normal in America. It's expected. It's built into the economy. Banks earn money from interest. Credit card companies earn money from revolving balances. Auto lenders earn money from long-term financing. If every American became debt-free tomorrow, the financial system would slow down dramatically. The American economy runs on consumer spending. Consumer spending runs on credit. When Mike buys a $27,000 SUV with a 72-month loan, the dealership profits, the bank profits, the manufacturer profits. Mike gets a monthly payment. Multiply Mike by millions of people. That is the structure of the system. Now consider Sarah. She lives in Orange County, California. She earns $165,000 a year. On paper, she looks wealthy, but her monthly reality looks like this: $3,200 mortgage, $1,100 in car payments, $1,500 child care, $800 student loans, $600 health insurance, credit cards carrying balances. After taxes, she feels pressure every month. In high-cost states like California and cities like New York City, even six-figure earners often live paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because when income increases, lifestyle increases faster. A bigger home, a safer neighborhood, better schools, nicer vacations, upgraded cars. Expenses rise permanently. Income can stop at any time. One layoff, one recession, one medical emergency. Debt grows again. The biggest illusion in America is the minimum payment. An $18,000 credit card balance does not feel overwhelming when the minimum due is a few $100s. But if you only pay minimums, that debt can last for decades. Now combine that with a mortgage, a car loan, student loans, medical bills. Debt stops being temporary. It becomes a lifetime cycle. Now let's talk about the part nobody sees: inflation. Over the last few decades, the cost of living in America has risen steadily. Housing costs have increased. Healthcare costs have exploded. College tuition has multiplied. Groceries, insurance, utilities, childcare, all higher. But wages did not rise at the same speed. This creates a silent gap. When expenses grow faster than income, debt fills the difference. That's how middle-class families slowly become dependent on credit. They are not overspending. They are compensating. Take healthcare. In America, one unexpected hospital visit can cost thousands of dollars. Even with insurance, deductibles and out-of-pocket expenses can be overwhelming. Many bankruptcies in the United States are linked to medical bills. Now think about retirement. Decades ago, many Americans had pensions. Today, pensions are rare. Now retirement depends on 401ks and personal savings. But here is the problem. If you are constantly paying a mortgage, a car loan, student loans, credit cards, how much is left to invest? Many Americans reach their 40s and 50s still carrying major debt. Some enter retirement with a mortgage. Some retire with credit card balances. Some even retire with student loan debt, either their own or loans they took for their children. Debt is no longer just a young adult issue. It is a lifetime companion. Now let's talk about interest. Interest is quiet. It does not shout. It does not scare you immediately. It compounds. If you carry $20,000 $20,000 in credit card debt at high interest and you make minimum payments, you are not just paying back $20,000. You could end up paying tens of thousands extra over time. Interest turns small financial stress into long-term financial chains. And here's something even deeper. American culture promotes spending. Advertising is everywhere. New phone releases every year. New car models every year. Sales events every holiday. Social media adds pressure. You see vacations, new homes, luxury lifestyles. It creates comparison. Comparison creates desire. Desire creates spending. Spending often creates debt. Now combine inflation, lifestyle pressure, easy credit access, and weak financial education. The result? Millions of hardworking Americans stuck in a cycle. Earn, spend, borrow, repeat. They're not failing. They are participating in a system designed around consumption. And here's the most dangerous part. Debt feels manageable until it isn't. As long as the paycheck comes in, everything looks stable. But when income stops, even temporarily, the entire structure shakes. And most households do not have enough emergency savings to survive several months without income. That is why debt remains permanent for many. In Part 3, we will talk about the solution, how to break the cycle, how to think differently about money, and what separates the small percentage of Americans who actually become debt-free. Now, the question is simple. If the system is built on debt, how does anyone escape it? Because some Americans do. They are not lucky. They are not earning millions. They are not financial geniuses. They just think differently. The first shift is psychological. Most people focus on monthly payments. Wealthy and financially free people focus on total cost. When someone says, it's only $550 a month, they ask, how much will I pay over 6 years? When someone says, it's a 30-year mortgage, they ask, how much interest will I pay over 30 years? That one shift changes everything. The second shift is rejecting lifestyle inflation. When income increases, most people upgrade their life immediately. Financially disciplined people delay the upgrade. Raise comes in, instead of a bigger car payment, they increase savings. Instead of a larger house, they reduce debt faster. They use income growth to buy freedom, not status. The third shift is emergency protection. Most Americans rely on credit cards for emergencies. Financially stable households build cash reserves first because debt grows fastest during crisis. An emergency fund turns a disaster into an inconvenience. The fourth shift is attacking high-interest debt aggressively. Credit card interest is often the most expensive money you will ever borrow. Paying minimums keeps you comfortable. Paying aggressively makes you uncomfortable for a short time, but short-term discomfort creates long-term freedom. Now let's return to Mike. If Mike continues paying minimums, his debt will follow him for decades. But if he cuts unnecessary upgrades, redirects bonuses and tax refunds to principal, avoids new car loans, builds savings before spending, within years, not decades, his situation changes. Not because the system changed, because his behavior changed. And here's the truth most people avoid. Debt freedom requires sacrifice. It requires saying no when others say yes. No to the bigger house. No to the luxury car lease. No to financing things you cannot buy twice in cash. It requires patience in a culture addicted to speed. The reason most Americans will never be debt-free is not lack of intelligence. It is normalization. Debt feels normal. Car payments feel normal. Carrying balances feel normal. Upgrading constantly feels normal. But normal does not mean healthy. The small percentage that becomes debt-free decides to stop playing the standard script. They question every payment. They avoid unnecessary interest. They measure wealth by net worth, not lifestyle. The system may be built on debt, but individuals are not forced to stay in it forever. The cycle continues automatically. Freedom requires intention, and the difference between a lifetime of payments and financial independence often begins with one decision. Stop financing the life you want. Start building the life you own. Before we continue, subscribe to Kane Invests for real financial breakdowns that protect your future. Now let's talk about what's coming next. Debt in America is not slowing down. It is evolving. Technology is changing jobs. AI is replacing certain roles. Layoffs are becoming more common in multiple industries. Income is becoming less predictable, but payments stay fixed. Your mortgage does not care about automation. Your car loan does not pause for recession. Your credit card does not forgive uncertainty. The future risk is not just debt. It is unstable income combined with permanent payments. Now imagine two families. Both earn similar incomes. Family 1 upgrades every 5 years. Bigger home, new cars, financed furniture, zero cash reserves. Family 2 keeps the same home longer, drives cars for 10 years, avoids unnecessary upgrades, builds strong savings, invests consistently. 10 years later, the difference is massive. Family 1 looks successful. Family 2 is secure, and security becomes power during uncertain times. Here is something most people misunderstand. Being payment-free is not the same as being financially free. You can finish your car loan, you can pay off your credit cards, but if you have no assets producing income, you are still dependent on your paycheck. True freedom is when your money works for you, when investments generate returns, when savings protect you from panic, when job loss is stressful but not catastrophic. Most Americans never reach that stage because debt delays investing. Every dollar paying interest is a dollar not building ownership. Time is the most powerful financial tool, and debt consumes time. It extends the years you must work. It reduces the years you can choose not to. Now, let's be clear. Not all debt is evil, but uncontrolled, normalized, lifestyle-driven debt becomes a trap. The system may encourage borrowing, but discipline builds freedom. If you are watching this right now, you have a choice. Continue following the standard path. Earn more, spend more, finance more, repeat, or choose a different model. Earn, control spending, eliminate high-interest debt, build assets, buy time. Most Americans will never be debt-free, not because it is impossible, but because it requires intention in a culture built on distraction. The people who escape are not extreme, they are consistent. Small decisions, repeated for years, lead to massive separation. And one day, instead of asking, how much is the monthly payment, you start asking, how much freedom does this give me? That question changes everything. This is Kane Invests. Build smart, live free.